Okay, another round of answering questions. If you want your name used, say so explicitly. Otherwise, I'm just going to say it's a question from somewhere out there. Um, why would someone want to de-self identify? Um, One, I mean, from my perspective, it gives you more, there's more play, there's more things, there's not only are there more things to interact with, but there are more ways to interact with them. Instead of looking from a previous example, men are pigs, and using that to identify human beings with penises and label them all that. If you self-identify with that there's not one singular explanation of what those human beings with penises are and how you should feel about them and how you should interact with them, to me, that's a bigger range of possibilities. And in my world, that does open the door for more nastiness, more value negative stuff, I guess. But for the most part, for me, the ability to interact with human beings that have penises in very many ways is a joyful thing. It's like I'm not sitting down at an orchestra and I'm a member of the orchestra and all I can play is a piccolo, and I only want piccolos around me. I prefer having a wide variety. Now, wait a minute, given that you want to be good Amish or good Hasidic or good narrow definitions of the way the world are, given that that's one of your values, you want to be that, you don't want to de-self-identify. That's the wrong path, my friend. You want to identify what the path of learning is for you to be that thing, and you want to cleave to that. You want to hang on to that. So that's sort of the general global why de-self-identify in general. Now, if you want to change a specific thing in your life that is working or perhaps is working too good, and got to get off this cocaine habit, or I'm spending too much time at the office making millions of dollars, but I'm not spending too much time with my family. In particular areas that are strong for you, this is the same process, de-self-identification. If you're locked into a belief pattern or a behavioral pattern that you keep doing time and time and time and time again, even though intellectually you're like, oh, gee whiz, I really don't want to be doing it this way, you're identifying with whatever meaning making happens such that this pattern came into being. Now, if you want to, you're never going to break the pattern, but what you can do is you can learn new stuff. You can become a person other than the person who does this little thing. So de-self-identification is not necessarily a global thing. I believe that unless you're really crazy about working this to the bone, there are always going to be parts of you that you're like, no, that's a belief system that I'm totally okay with. I have a belief system that if I go out into the sun, I'm going to get sunburned and bad things are going to happen, melanomas and things like that. Is that a one-to-one? No, it's not. That's a belief pattern. But I'm perfectly fine. I don't need to go outside and lie in the sun and bake and turn into a lizard and all that other stuff. It's a belief pattern that suits who I want to be. So de-self-identification, sort of globally, and then on a singular scale, that there are parts of your life that you want to decrease the self-identification with. You want to be able to face or interact with those things that used to take you in directions that you didn't want to do, and you want to be at choice about it. You want to be able to socialize without, going crazy. I used to be, and still am not great at socializing, but at least I don't stand in a corner, okay, nursing a drink and thinking terrible thoughts about why I'm here or why everybody's doing this thing. I can actually go out there and, make relatively decent conversation. It's still not comfortable for me. So, it used to be that socializing was this really tight little thing I had. Nah, it's not as tight as it used to be. Could it be broader? Yeah, it definitely could be broader. And at my advanced age, the picking up of all of those, skill sets and vocabulary and attunements and things, I'm just like, not yet. I don't have to do that yet. I may have to. I may choose to in the future, but right now, I'm okay with where I'm at. So, okay, that's another one. I will keep doing these. Actually, and I really like doing this, like, because a lot of times in answering your questions, it points to something that I didn't know, I didn't see. It might point to a blind spot, which I will be forever grateful if you manage to do that. So keep the questions coming. I love doing this.